Oh, good. Oh, I'm very low. Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you're all well, and I hope this finds you well. Today, we've got a wonderful class. Today, we're going to be focused around the Anahata chakra, which is our heart chakra. And the heart chakra is centered around love, air, breath, unity, healing, and relationships and balance. This is such a wonderful chakra. It's also the chakra that kind of bridges the lower chakras and to the higher chakras. So it's like this bridge point. So it's quite a pretty significant part in our body. If you're not familiar with the chakra system, it's our subtle energy system that kind of runs along the spine and intersects where the Ida, the left side of the body, and the Pingala, which is the right side of the body, kind of intersect. And at each intersection between the Ida and the Pingala is where each of the chakras lay. And each chakra represents a different part of the body, a kind of emotional connection, a different connection to the elements such as earth, air, water, and each of them also correspond to different parts of our emotional and psychological body. So today, because we're talking about the heart chakra, we're going to be talking and doing we're going to be doing a little bit of self-care to begin with. So I thought it would be a nice idea for us to kind of start with ourselves, start with kind of connecting back within and giving us what we need so that our cups can feel nice and full so that we can move on with our practice today and take it with us, hopefully off the mat. So I thought we would start with a little bit of self-Reiki. If you've ever done Reiki before, which is this kind of energy work, we're going to do a little bit on ourselves just to kind of set the tone. So go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable position. And we're going to be doing some different yoga techniques today. Some of them may be familiar to you, some of them may not. So I'm going to walk you through it, and you take it what you want from it, and just see how it kind of fills your cup a little bit more. And let's just open up to maybe this idea of trusting the process and just taking a moment to kind of settle ourselves in and just kind of inviting that word trust into our mind. So go ahead and close your eyes. And just take a couple of breaths in, find yourself comfortable, kind of find yourself maybe lengthening the spine, but without straining through the spine. I always encourage everyone to maybe find a seat in a chair or sitting up on a meditation cushion. And just soften your eyes and just invite this idea of trust, love into our bodies, into our minds. Let's go ahead and bring our hands together, and we're going to start rubbing them kind of up and down, kind of building this energy, building a little bit of heat. Reiki is all about that energy that runs. You can send people Reiki. You can receive self-Reiki by just doing it yourself, just kind of checking in with your own energy. Let's begin by just rubbing the hands, just feeling the sense of the palms rubbing together, building that energy. Quieting the breath. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to slowly bring our hands back together. And then we're going to take each palm and we're going to set the fingertips at the top of our forehead. And we're going to set the heel of our hand at the top of our cheekbones, covering the eyes. And just gently, I've got just a gentle touch to my face. And just take a moment here to quiet the body. Just begin to feel the energy within, trusting that everything that you have or everything that you need is within you. Maybe noticing the quieting of the body. Maybe noticing the breath coming in through the nose. And soften your shoulders. And soften your eyes. Just envisioning this sparkle of love kind of emanating all around you, protecting you, giving you everything you need. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our hands down towards our chest, right where our heart is. And we're going to stack our one hand and then the other right below. Just holding space for ourselves. Allow yourself the opportunity to be open to whatever there is. Knowing that everything that comes to us for a reason. Maybe you start to feel this internal awareness that we are safe, that we are loved. And then perhaps we can bring our hands down to our hara space, so right above the belly button. Again, just stacking the hands one on top of the other. And you start to feel the shift of energy. Tuning in. And perhaps you feel nothing, and that is also okay. My teachers explained to me that Reiki, every time we do Reiki, it works. Whether we realize it or not, there is this energy that comes to us, and it really nourishes everything that we need. Maybe it's subtle, maybe not. But that every time we practice Reiki, we get everything that we need in that moment. And let's go ahead and bring our hands back up to our heart. One on top of the other. And you start to notice the temperature changing of the palm touching the body. Sealing this idea that we have everything we need is within us. And then one last time, we're going to bring our hands up to our eyes. Bringing the fingertips to the head, then to the forehead, and drawing the heel of the hand and just cupping the eyes. I'd like to bring my palms together at that third eye. And then slowly bring the hands to your heart. Just take a moment here. You can set your hands down with the palms down to the top of the thighs. Almost like you're sealing the energy within. You can slowly begin to open the eyes. Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, take a breath. Wonderful. And we have one more practice that we're going to do today. It's called EFT. It's called Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's a tapping technique. And it is a technique that's been medically proven to really help our nervous systems calm down, to help settle down anxiety, any sort of physical or emotional pain that we're experiencing. And a very profound practice. I can't say I do it daily, but I do it frequently. I should do it daily because it's a very calming practice, but just so we can set that tone of kind of releasing anything that's not serving us today. And maybe we've got some pain that we're dealing with, physical pain, maybe emotional pain. Maybe we're not feeling any of those things, but we're just going to invite the sense of calm through this technique. And we're going to do 2 rounds. And how it works is we're going to start tapping in specific areas. So we're going to take our pointed finger and our middle finger, and we'll tap, and I'll tell you where to tap. And as we're tapping, we're going to repeat the thing we want to let go of. And one of my teachers told me once that she was experiencing very serious migraines, and she was tapping to, I have no use for this. I have no use for this. And just went ahead and tapped and tapped and tapped and repeated that mantra, that send that kind of word of I'm letting that go, just letting it go. And then on the second round, she was repeating, I feel good, I feel good, I feel good. And we'll repeat that. We'll do that together. Now, each of us may have something we want to release on our own. So feel free, I can't hear you. Feel free to say it out loud if it feels comfortable to you. Feel free to say it to yourself if there's something you need to let go of. And if you're like, I don't know if there's anything specific, then perhaps you may want to repeat an affirmation of, I feel supported in every aspect of my life. So as we're tapping, repeat, I feel supported in every aspect of my life. Move your hand, I feel supported in every aspect of our life. And I'm going to repeat, and I'm going to move through the different areas that we tap. We'll go through the first round where we're going to release whatever it is we want to let go of. And then we're going to come back to the next round, and we're going to affirm our position of where we are today. Maybe today I feel good. Today I have no pain. Today I feel happy. Today I feel at peace. And I'll repeat the second mantra affirmations, and I'll go them with you, and I'll repeat, and you can copy with me, or if there's something else you want to repeat, you feel free to. So again, find yourself in this comfortable position. And we're going to begin tapping at the crown of our head. So right at the top, kind of right between about 4 to 6 finger spaces from the crease of your hairline. And we're going to just tap here. And let's just go ahead and we'll just do a quick round of the different areas so you can get that sensation. And just tap a few times. And then we'll take it down right between the brows. And we'll go and just tap right here. Right between the brows. And then we'll take both hands and we'll go to the outer edges of the eyebrows. Just tapping here. And then we'll take one hand and we'll bring it right beneath the nose, above the top lip, and just tap here. And then down to our chin. Again, just tap here. And then go ahead and we're going to tap right across the chest. This is probably one of my favorite ones. Just tap from shoulder to shoulder, just tapping along. And these tapping areas are not just random. They are actually specific areas that release any kind of subtle energy. And there are specific areas that also release any stress and anxiety in the body. And then this last one will be right under the arms. So we'll cross our hands and we'll tap right here. Good. And then we'll come back to the crown. So let's go ahead and start with the top one, the crown. And we're going to go ahead and affirm or just kind of repeat what it is we need to release. So maybe today I have no use for back pain or shoulder pain. And just continuously repeat that to yourself. And then we're going to bring it down to between the eyebrows. Maybe repeat it again here. And let's go ahead and repeat it again to the outer sides, on the outer edges of the eyebrows, kind of on the temples. And then go ahead and take your hand and right above the lip and below the nose, repeat your release, what you want to let go of. Maybe there's a few things. And take it down to your chin. Just repeat that here. Just imagine it leaving, letting it go. And let's bring it across the chest. Tapping from one side and then tapping to the other side. And then we'll take it to the underarm area, crossing the arms and just tapping here. Wonderful. Let's take it back to the crown, and perhaps you want to repeat after me. Today I feel healthy. Today I feel healthy. Down to the third eye. Today I feel loved. Today I feel loved. And the outer, where the temples are. Today I have no pain. Today I have no pain. And then to the upper lip. Today I feel strong. Today I feel strong. And then to the chin. Today I am beautiful. I am beautiful. And to the chest. I am loved and supported. I am loved and supported. And then the last one, under the arms. I am enough. I am enough. And then slowly release. Bringing your hands to your thighs and take a moment here to simply notice. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's begin to breathe in and sweep our arms overhead. Maybe keep your eyes closed if you want to. And exhale, release from the mouth. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. Wonderful. Let's just open our eyes. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Let's begin. Let's bring ourselves onto our mat, lying down on our backs. Make sure you have, if you need any sort of your yoga blocks or anything that you may need, make sure they're with you because we might use them. So we're going to begin by lying down on our backs today. Bringing our knees about hip distance apart. You can knock your knees together so that you just release the back. And let your palms rest down and your chest is open. And we're going to go into some bridges just to start off. So with your feet hip distance apart, if your knees are knocked together, go ahead and bring them a little wider. And with our inhale, we're going to press into the heels, engage through the glutes, and start to open up the front body. And we're just going to do this really nice and gently. And then exhale, slowly come back down. And breathe in. Opening up the heart, so allowing the chest to remain nice and soft. Just opening up the front body. And then back down. Breathing in. Allowing this expansive opportunity to allow the heart to remain nice and open. And just slowly moving the body without any force, with the utmost amount of care and love for yourself. Opening. And closing. Good. And let's do one more bridge here. And then we're going to invite our arms to join us along the journey. When you're ready, set your sacrum back down to the floor. Set your body weight heavy into the mat. Ground your body in. Maybe even feel the feet pressing into the floor a little more. And this time, as we inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Circulate the arms all the way around, opening up through the chest. And then exhale, come back down as your arms sweep to the side. Inhale, open your bridge, extend the arms up overhead. Again, if you don't have to, the range, you don't have to bring the arms overhead if that doesn't feel good. As you exhale, sweeping the arms out to the side, slowly start to bring your sacrum down. And as you do this, breathe into the heart space, open the front body, expand the heart space, and slowly come down. If moving into bridge doesn't feel good, simply move your arms, keep your sacrum down to the floor, and open up. And just feeling into the body here. Let's do one more here. And then whenever you're ready, set yourself down to the floor. Take your right hand and bring it over to the angle at the shoulder where the neck and the shoulder kind of meet, and then take the other hand and cross it over as if you're giving yourself a lovely hug. And start to gently press into the shoulders, kind of massaging the neck and a bit of the shoulders, and just gently press here, just releasing any tension, kind of moving the energy in the body as well. And giving ourselves a little bit more self-care here. Massage, self-massage is a wonderful way just to give ourselves a little bit of that love. Right? Just remind ourselves that we are important. We need it just as much as we need to give it. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release the hands and extend the arms up overhead for just a moment, opening up the heart. And then exhale, open the arms out to the side into a strong T. And perhaps we're coming into a simple rotation. You can always take a block to set your knees down onto. But first, lift your sacrum up and just shift it over towards the right, and then we'll gently come into a twist. And maybe twists are not working for us today. That's absolutely fine. Maybe we're just going to remain in a nice open heart space here. You can always rest a block underneath the bottom leg to help raise the floor to meet the legs. Allow the breath to remain in the chest area. No, that's not what I meant to say. Allow the breath to be expansive through the chest. Just allowing your shoulders to soften, to melt into the floor. Just seeing if we can keep both shoulders down as we twist. If we're twisting, if we're not, then just keeping the chest open and expansive. And then as you're ready, begin to lift with that top leg. Slowly make your way back in towards center. And then you may have to press into the feet to shift your sacrum back to your base. And then we're going to go ahead and shift over to the other side. Give yourself enough space here. Perhaps bring the knees together, stack the hips, and gently twist towards the opposite direction. Still keeping the chest nice and open here. Take a few nice big breaths here. Just try to soften the heart. Let go of anything that's holding on within our bodies, within our minds. Today is about release. And then when you're ready, slowly lift the top leg back up and bring the bottom leg to meet the top. And then set your feet down the floor and gently press into the floor to set your sacrum back towards base. And then let's draw the knees in towards our chest, maybe interlacing the fingers at the front of the knees, or maybe just allowing one hand on each knee here as we come to knees to chest. And gently, just gently and so subtly, shift your body weight side to side so you can just create a little bit of space in the low back here. Just see if you can invite a bit of release, a little bit of relief. Letting go of any tension. And then from here, go ahead and extend your right leg long, keeping that left knee in towards the chest. And then bend into the right knee, take your hands and set them on top of the front of the right leg, and then extend the left leg. Just gently extending it. Now, if you feel like, oof, I'm a little tight in the back of the legs, go ahead and just bend and stretch the legs. And instead of kind of trying to lock into the knees, think about lengthening the legs. So reaching the heel up towards the sky and lengthening the back of the body, back of the legs. And let's go ahead and bend into that left leg, and let's do that one more time on either side. So bend and stretch. And each time just exhale to reach the leg long. Almost you can feel the difference between trying to find length rather than locking. Just release. Wonderful. Let's do one more on this right leg, and then we're going to go ahead and switch right back to the left. And then when you're ready, bend the right knee and then shift your hands over to the right. We'll do that one more time, that bend and stretch. Let your breath guide you here. Just breathing in, exhaling out. Wonderful. See if you can release the low back. Release the shoulders. Good. And then when you're ready, come back in through center. And this time we're just going to move through the hips and just open up the knees in opposite direction. It's always nice to move through the joint, because as we move through the joints, we're inviting some synovial fluid to come in and really lubricate the joints. So, and that just is so nice to just kind of move through, kind of feel a little bit of looseness. You can even invite a little rotation through the ankles as we do the rotations of the hips. And just gently guiding the knees. And imagining you're almost drawing a heart with the knees. So opening out to the sides and coming to the tip. And just gently working through here. Let's do one more in this direction, then we'll reverse the direction. Maybe next time you come in towards your heart, instead of opening out, you'll drop down and then open into that opposite direction and just see how this feels. See if as you're doing this, you can let the low back release. You can almost also work a little bit through the shoulders here as they're also getting a little bit of movement. Wonderful. Let's do one more in this direction. And then we'll come back towards center, drawing the knees one more time in towards the heart. Again, gently, maybe take an inhale, and then as you exhale, draw the knees in, lengthen down through the tailbone. And then go ahead and set your right foot down to the floor, and then cross your left ankle over the right. And here, we're going to see if we can take this opportunity just to massage in through the middle part of our foot. And if you find there's right at the center part of the foot, there's a marma point here. And the marma point is like a pressure point. And we're just going to go ahead and just gently, and I really encourage you to do this gently because it can feel a little sensitive. Just kind of play around maybe in the center area, right? I kind of find where my arch is, kind of putting in about an inch in towards the center of the foot and put a little bit of pressure there. If it feels too sensitive, please just feel free to just massage the foot. I'm just going to hold for about 4 or 5 breaths. And just really gently putting some pressure into the sole of the foot. It's a wonderful way to also invite a bit of that sense of grounding, as of course the feet are the first thing that touches the earth. So if you're ever feeling like you're just a little all over the place, a little unsettled, just take a moment and sit down and find that marma point. Reconnect with the feet. And then from here, maybe we'll go ahead and take that hand and just gently kind of massage in through. You can even actually, if it feels comfortable, draw both hands on either side of the leg and just massage in through the calf muscle here. If there's any kind of points that feel a little sensitive, just gently kind of massage up and down through that area. Maybe even circulate through the thumb. I know that whenever I do any sort of foam rolling on my calves, it's like, oh, it feels really sensitive. There's quite a lot of tension in that area of my body. So just go ahead and just kind of loosen up any sort of, I don't know, tightness that there may be here. Maybe even finding a little point. If there's any points that feel, oh, I feel that. Maybe take your thumb and just put a little bit more pressure there just to hold it. If you've ever done trigger point training, I know Peg has done that with me with the tennis balls. And I think you have too, Susan. It's a wonderful way to release the muscles, but it can be a little intense. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, we can go ahead and release that left leg and just let the left leg kind of come down to the floor. And let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, crossing the right ankle over the left and just drawing that thumb towards the center of your foot. Again, maybe just finding the arch of the foot and then kind of coming about an inch or so towards the center of your foot. And just find, so I can tell you on one side feels very different than the other. My right foot feels really sensitive. It's also the side of my body that I have a lot of problems with my hip and my glute. So I'm not surprised. So you may feel some differences on one side than the other. Maybe not. So that's also possible. But this is one of those more sensitive pressure points within the body. Let's just hold for a couple more breaths. Of course, you can do this longer when you're on your own. If It feels nice. I often just find myself doing this when I'm watching TV. And then go ahead and you can release and let your wrist and your thumb release a bit. And then, of course, if you want to, you can go ahead and massage a little bit of the calf muscle here. And work your way down, maybe right to where that ankle or the tendon, the Achilles tendon, kind of connects down towards the ankle, the heel, the calcaneus. And so much sometimes strain can also come from just having a bit of tightness in this area. And again, just feel free to kind of palpate your muscles with your thumbs. Maybe you find a little sensitive point, and that's really okay. Maybe you want to put a little bit of moment of breath or two there just to kind of help release the muscle. When we talk about reciprocal inhibition, it's this idea of when you have a muscle that might have a knot in it, we take a little moment or two to put a little pressure into that area. It really takes about 40 seconds or so to send that message to the brain to say, hey brain, let's release this muscle. So if you're feeling any sensitive points, you can always just massage in that area or simply send your thumb in or your finger into that area and just hold it in place. It's a little bit of pressure. It can feel a little intense as long as you don't feel any sort of numbing in the leg, because that might mean you might be on a nerve. But just make sure that when you're doing it, you're just kind of careful. You can feel it. Give it a moment or two to release. Good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release the right foot down towards the floor. Nice. Just notice how that feels. My foot feels really relaxed right now. And then go ahead and shift your knees side to side, gently just loosening up the low back, breathing in and out. Wonderful. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to make our way into our all fours position. And we're going to do a little cat-cow. So take your time, roll yourself onto your all fours. Taking your hands about shoulder distance apart. Knees are hip distance apart. Again, if you have any knee issues and being on your knees feels discomforting or not comfortable, you can do cat-cow seated or simply take a towel and place it underneath the knees. Hands are shoulder distance, and just begin to just find that length through the spine. Try not to strain through the neck. And then we're going to go ahead and inhale and then start to arch the low back, starting from tailbone, low back, mid back to upper back. Open up the heart. See if you can roll the shoulder blades gently back and down and lift up a little bit more through the sternum. And then as you exhale, start to tuck your tail under. Start to articulate vertebrae by vertebrae. And then as you draw your crown towards the floor, maybe take the gaze between the knees. Inhale, arch the low back, and you could go as a little faster, a little slower. And then pull in through the belly and round and through the spine. Just release the heart in towards the back of the body. Open up the heart as you come into cow and pull the heart in as you come into cat. Maybe we're just taking a moment here to resend our affirmation. Maybe our affirmation is, today I feel good. Today I feel pain-free. Today I feel supported and loved. Let's do 2 more cats, 2 more cows. Continue to deepen the breath even further. And then when you're ready, let us come right back in towards center. And we're going to come into our child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide, and press back onto our heels. if it feels comfortable, we can go into extended child's pose today with our palms wide, about as wide as the mat, and just allow the heart space to soften down towards the earth, resting the forehead down on the floor. Now, if bringing the forehead down on the floor does not feel good for you, take your hands, maybe create a little tower of fists to stack on, and just let your forehead rest here. Let your heart space remain soft. As you're here, breathe into the back body. Let your spine release. Let your low back release down. Let your hips open. Take a few breaths here. Each time releasing the heart space, releasing any tension in the jaw and the throat and the shoulders. And then at your own pace, we're going to inhale, shift ourselves back into all fours, taking our hands a little forward of the shoulders, curling the toes under, and pressing into the balls of the feet as we lift our sits bones up and come into our downward facing dog. Now think back to when we were doing our bend and stretches. Same idea here. Bend and stretch the knees maybe a few times just to get this sensation of lengthening the back of the legs, drawing the heels down towards the floor. The arms are about shoulder distances apart, and maybe the ears are nicely aligned with the crease of the elbow or the upper arm, I should say, unless your elbow's really high, which wouldn't be the case. And then if you're in downward dog, you can feel free to go ahead and pedal the feet. And just with this idea of gently lengthening the back of the legs, we're coming to this with so much love and self-care for ourselves, finding this balance. And this is really the Anahata chakra, just find that balance. And then whenever you're ready, we'll come back in towards center, finding both heels, maybe reaching them down towards the earth a little more. And then with so much care, let's begin to walk our hands towards our feet. And we're going to come into Uttanasana, into our forward fold. And I'm going to start here in a really deep knee bend with my torso resting on my thighs. And you can even take your block, if you have it, and set it kind of in front of you to raise the ground a little bit. I might even toe heel my feet a little wider than my hips. And with this bent knee, I'm going to inhale to lengthen a little. Exhale to bend down. And just as you do this, allow the back to release, allow the shoulders and the neck to release. Inhale, maybe lengthen a little more. And just play around with it. Exhale, release down. Inhale. Now, if we have any sort of blood pressure issues, maybe we're not taking our head below our heart. Maybe we're resting our hands on our thighs and just kind of bending and stretching here, leaving the head above the heart. Good. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to go ahead and find ourselves in our Uttanasana. Let the feet be a little soft, bending through slightly through the knees. Let the head and the low back release. And then if you want to, you can set your block aside and give yourself a little hug. So kind of grabbing your opposite elbows here and just allow your body to rock side to side. You can keep the knees nice and bent here. Don't feel forced to lengthen beyond what feels good. Today is all about self-care, self-love, our heart space. So lead from the heart. And just release the back. Release the shoulders. And then when you're ready, you can make your way back in towards center. Maybe take your hands to your block. And this time, go ahead and deeply bend into the knees, Set both hands on the top of the thighs and start to round in through the spine. One vertebrae at a time. And keep your chin tucked into the very last minute until you make your way all the way to a standing position. Taking your hands, extending them out to the side, finding your Tadasana, finding your mountain pose. Energize through the fingertips, press into the feet. Find a little bit of that energy emanating from the earth up. Open up the heart. And then as you're ready, let's inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the heart, cactus the arms. Finding a gentle back bend. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, open up, cactus the arms. Opening up the chest, finding a little bit of a deeper back bend here, just lifting up through the sternum. Inhale back to neutral, reach the arms tall. Exhale, open the heart. Wonderful. One more time, breathe in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, open up the heart. Maybe lift the sternum a little more. Keep your pelvis really neutral here. This is just a lift from the center of the chest. And then inhale, reach the arms overhead, come back to neutral. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you. If interlacing the fingers does not feel accessible today, maybe set the hands at the hips, roll the shoulder blades back, open up the heart. As you bring the shoulders back and down, we're not trying to strain through the upper body here. So find the spaciousness through the chest, drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Maybe you've got the hands interlaced. Now, if this feels comfortable, you can stay here. If you want to, you can always come into a forward fold. Bend the knees and then start to tip from the hips, opening up, leading with the heart all the way down. Finding our chest expansion in a forward fold. Again, if this doesn't feel comfortable, simply stay standing with the chest open and expansive. And imagine this light emanating from the chest. And if you're in your forward fold, go ahead and start to lengthen the legs, release the hands. We'll slowly sweep them forward. If you're standing, go ahead and release the hands. We're going to start to sweep the arms all the way forward. Shoulder distance apart. Let's go ahead and take our right foot forward. And we're finding our crescent pose here. Tucking the tail slightly under, opening up through the chest. So maybe even find a little bit of opening with the palms, maybe coming back into that cactus arms, if that feels good. And then inhale one more time, just reach tall. Exhale, open, and this time pull the elbows slightly back. Draw the shoulder blades together, open up through the heart, keep the belly pulled in as we find a gentle back bend here. Inhale, extend the arms up overhead. Exhale, shift the hands so you come right into warrior two. Adjusting the back foot, arms are outstretched, gaze is forward, drop the shoulders. Inhale, lead forward, open the palm. Exhale, find your reverse warrior. Keeping that front knee nice and bent, beautiful. Stack the front knee on top of the ankle, open up with the hip all the way to the shoulder. Let the back arm kind of release down. Find a really nice, comfortable space here. And then as you're ready, we're going to take our next inhale and we're going to windmill our arm all the way over to our right knee. Let the elbow rest there. Exhale, reach the arm either up or overhead or set it to your hip. You can come to the hip if you want to and roll the shoulder blades slightly back into a gentle gaze back. Just a little bit more opening through the heart. Or if your arm is open, you can gently offer a little twist towards the left. Wonderful. On your next inhale, let's windmill the arms back to warrior two. And then curl the front toes so that they're both facing forward. And then curl the back toes and then bend into that left knee, finding our warrior two on the other side. Drop the shoulder blades down. Inhale, reach forward, palm opens. Exhale, reverse warrior. This time we're on the side of the heart. Left side opens. Maybe see if you can expand a little bit more here. Again, we always come to these movements with so much kindness and love. So really not forcing this reverse warrior. Inhale, windmill the arms back over to the knee. Exhale, reach the arm maybe up towards the sky, maybe towards the hip, maybe overhead. Depends on what feels good for you today. And we can always gently twist and open up towards the right. Wonderful. Let's come back to neutral and let's pull ourselves back up to warrior two. And this time, let's curl the toes so that they're both facing forward. Set the hands to the hips. Roll the shoulder blades back and open up through the chest here. Drawing the shoulder blades back and finding a little bit of that lift through the sternum. And from this space, if it feels good, we can hinge from the hips and tilt ourselves forward, leading with the heart, coming into a forward fold. Now I'm going to encourage you to grab your block if you have one. It's just a nice way to set your hands down when you're ready. And maybe we're just going to take a moment here to lengthen through the spine, lead with the heart, lead with the crown of the head all the way forward. Pull the shoulder blades back, pull the abdominals in. Now maybe from here, you want to stay in a half forward fold. Perhaps you want to come down a little bit forward towards the floor. If you do, if it feels good on your body, go ahead and set your fingertips down to the floor. Take a few nice big breaths and just release down. We're stretching the whole spinal area from tailbone to crown. All the back extensors here. And you may also get a really nice little bit of stretch in the back of the legs. Now, if it feels comfortable, you can walk your hands over to your left foot and just give the side of the right side of the body a little stretch. Release in the back, release the shoulders. Walking your hands back in through center and then over to the other side. Wonderful. And then come right back in through center. And then maybe take the yoga block, set it back. If you didn't need it before, you don't have to grab it if you don't want to. And I'm going to just gently take my heel of my hands, press into the yoga block, and lengthen my spine. And then from here, I'll set my hands back to my hips. And I'm going to use my glutes and my hamstrings to really pull myself back up. Bring the elbows, open up the chest really gently. Come back to where we started. Take a moment here. And you know this is our superhero pose, right? The superhero asana. And then from here, come back to neutral. Toe heel your feet, coming back towards center, but not so close. We got a nice wide stance here. Feet are going to be slightly externally rotated. We're going to come into prayer squat. Now, for some, this might not be comfortable. If you don't want to go into it, you don't have to go fully into it. You can maybe come into a half prayer squat. Maybe bring your hands to heart center if that feels comfortable. I'm going to really leave it up to you to decide what feels best. So when you're ready, feet are externally rotated. This is the way I kind of like to do it, a little bit more spacious. I'm going to start to bend in through my knees and start bringing myself down. It's a really wonderful hip opener. I can even take my yoga block and set it underneath my sits bones. So I can sit down right on my yoga block. I'm actually going to bring my feet in a little closer. And again, just find your space here, letting your tailbone drip down, taking your elbows, kind of bringing them to the inside of the thighs, lifting up through the sternum here. Again, I love using yoga block and setting it right underneath. It just allows that nice little bit of comfort. Lifting up through the sternum, pull the shoulder blades gently back. Just settle in here. Remind yourself of your affirmation. I am supported in every aspect of my life. If you're on a yoga block, you're even extra supported. Wonderful. Now from here, we can go ahead and set our hands to the floor. Gently lift your sits bones up. Maybe if your block is there, we can come down and we'll come right down onto the floor. So lying down or coming onto our sits bones here. Lengthening through the legs, just making our way into that seated position. Thigh peg. We're just going to take a gentle forward fold here as a symbol of like bowing down to ourselves, surrendering to ourselves. So breathing in, lengthening through the crown, lengthening through the arms, and just gently allow yourselves to float forward. Wherever your hands land, they land. Lead with your heart, soften through the shoulders. Take a few breaths here. Wonderful. And then slowly walk your hands towards center. And we're going to come right into our Sukhasana position, our easy seated position. We're going to do a gentle twist. If you're not doing twist today, feel free to avoid this. We can simply rest in Sukhasana. When we do our twist, I want you to think about your belly button facing forward. And we're not going to bring our belly button with us, but there's a sense of opposition here. So when you're ready, we take our right hand towards our left knee, take our left hand back, belly button faces forward, and there's a little bit of that opposition, like you're squeezing out a towel, and just gently turning our gaze behind us. Soften the shoulders, lead with this heart space. And then on your next inhale, come right back through center and then over to the other side. And then come right back towards center. Let's come down to the floor. We're going to get ready for our final pose today. So make yourself as comfortable as possible. Take a blanket, take your pillow, do whatever it is you need to do to finish your practice off today with as much comfort as possible. So maybe that's a blanket, maybe that's socks, whatever it is. You come right down to the floor. And today, in honor of ourselves and self-love, take whatever you need to make yourself comfortable. And then if it's calling to you, we can either keep one hand on our heart and one hand on our tummy. Or you can always externally rotate the palms, inviting energy into the body, but also inviting an opening of the heart space. Just lying down with the palms up towards the sky. And as you rest here, please invite softness into the heart space. Invite that reminder, that affirmation that you are supported throughout all of your body and your life. You are loved and you are enough. Keep your eyes closed. And let's just take a couple of nice big breaths into the nose. And then maybe start to invite a little movement through the fingers and through the toes. Really inviting movement with love. So as gentle as you can be. Perhaps rolling onto your favorite side for just a moment to transition back to seated. Let's take that moment to roll over. And slowly press your hand into the floor and make your way up to seated. Wonderful. Let's meet with our hands at heart center. Let's silently repeat our affirmation to ourselves. Just reminding ourselves that we can take this with us throughout the day. I am fully supported in every aspect of my life. Let's gently bow our head towards our hands. May your heart always stay warm, and may your smile always stay broad. And may the light that shines in me honor the light that shines in you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. From my heart to yours, I wish you the most glorious of days, and I look forward to seeing you again this week. Remember, you can always use this practice, especially the beginning part, the mantra, the affirmations, the tapping, and the Reiki, the self-Reiki for self-love. So feel free to use it anytime. And I wish you a glorious day. From my heart to yours, thank you. Bye, everyone.